Well, in case you haven't noticed, guys, the main topic of conversation in this week's news is the passing of Kobe Bryant, widely regarded as one of the greatest players of all time in the game of basketball. His helicopter went down in Calabasas, California, with his daughter and 7 other people on board, and fog seems to be the main culprit. The world lost a tremendous athlete, an inspiration to many people. He's a role model to so many of us, and he exemplified discipline and the pursuit of excellence. And so his absence and this void that is created is greatly felt by many people. And it's not something that's taken lightly, because this is a man who went down in his prime. And these are always the hardest ones to take. And I told my wife when it happened, I said, this is going to be equal to or almost greater than Elvis when he died. I mean, I remember when that happened, it was such a big deal. And but when figures like this exit the stage, it leaves people feeling vacant inside. It leaves people feeling lost. It leaves people scratching their head and wondering. And regardless of what the cause of all of it was, people are going to mourn, they're going to weep, and they're going to miss him greatly. And he is going to be idolized, and probably in all the right ways. And because that's what happens when people pass anyway. We always remember the highlights and the good things, and it's not in any interest of mine to focus on anything negative regarding him. I think that he's everything that people said he was. You know, you can't argue the record that he created. He's a 5-time NBA championship athlete, and he left high school, went straight in, not left high school, but straight out of high school, he went into the NBA, and spent 20 years on one team. And so there's a lot to say for the person of Kobe Bryant, regardless of what team you root for or where you're from, and what kind of sports you like. You have to admire and respect the man. And you know, when things like this happen, nobody wonders if anybody's going to miss him. It's been loudly spoken all over the world and all over the television about how much people miss him. They're just dumbstruck. They're what they call gobsmacked, and they just have a hard time accepting it, and it doesn't seem right. You know, the course of life should naturally seem like, you know, from the time you're born, you mature into adult, eventually you die an old person, and that's the natural scenario that you want to play out. But so often people are struck down at a young age, sometimes much younger than this, and sometimes it's in the prime when they're doing so well, and they have not come to the end of their game, and I'm sure that everybody has wondered, when I go, am I going to be missed? Kobe Bryant doesn't have to wonder that. Wherever he is, he does not have to wonder if he's missed. He probably knows full well he is, because he left his mark indelibly upon the minds of everyone who's ever seen him at all. You know, they'd be like if Michael Jordan went, or if a really big movie star went, whose name everybody knows. They've left their mark, and you won't forget them. And even if you've never met the person, you miss them. But some people wonder, like people like you and I, who are not celebrities, who are just, you know, the everyday man. Most people wonder if they're going to be missed by their own family. Some people believe they're going to be missed by their own family, but they wonder if the tentacles spread even further than that. The people at work miss them. Will the people in their neighborhood? Will the people next door? Will their friends? Well, how long will they be remembered? It really depends on your role, and it really depends on what you've done. But here's what I want to impress upon you. Regardless of what you think of yourself, regardless of what others think of you, you're going to be missed. And the people that you have in your life, regardless of how you feel about them, whether it's your parents, or your coworkers or anybody else. It's going to hit you hard when that day comes, and it will come, mark my word. And it will affect you deeply, and each person will affect you differently, but they will be missed in one way or another. And so I want to lay that to rest upon your heart and mind if you have any doubts at all. Because there are some people that walk around thinking, I don't think anybody even knows that I'm here. I don't think anybody thinks that I make a difference, regardless of how hard I try. But you do make a difference, and you will be missed. Here's a little story to kind of exemplify what I'm talking about. Now, in this little anecdote that I'm going to share with you, nobody dies, but it's going to speak to what I'm really trying to say here. And I want you to take it in and take it for all that it's worth. Here it is. This was submitted by a woman named Elizabeth Mills, and it was probably back in the 40s or the 50s. And here's what she relayed. Here's a little story she relayed. She said, a friend, away from home on a long visit one summer, kept receiving from her husband and daughters such bright accounts of their doings that she began to wonder if she were missed at all. Then a letter from her 10-year-old son removed all doubt. Dear Mom, he wrote, this is the biggest house I ever saw since you went away. Think about that. It's the biggest house I ever saw since you went away. This mother, she's getting wonderful news. She hears that her husband and her daughters are happy. And we want people to be happy. Even when we're not around, we want them to be happy. But we still want to be missed. We still want to know that people thought of us. Well, people do think of you. And it was very reassuring to her when she received from her son, her young son. What was he, 10? Something like that. It's the biggest house I ever saw since you went away. I have a feeling that the LA Lakers, the team players, and the fans themselves, as they go into the Staples Center from now on to watch any game, are going to look around and think to themselves, this is the biggest house I ever saw since he went away. And mark my word, that's the way everyone in your life is going to feel. That's the way they're going to feel when you're gone. But I don't want you to stop there in thinking. I want you to understand that you're going to feel that way about everyone in your life, regardless of how you think you feel about them. So take the time to appreciate what you have, what you're doing. Appreciate the fact that you are making a difference. Here's the thing about life. You can't make big differences all the time. You can't leave big marks on a daily basis. That's not how life works. Just by being present, sometimes by offering a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, your generosity, the spirit of sharing, things like that, kindness, gentleness, if you embrace virtues and characteristics like that, I guarantee you're going to leave a big vacancy. Now, does that mean that people will never be happy again? Does that mean that you want people to mourn and to miss you for a long time? Not necessarily. We want people to be happy. But if you have any concerns at all whatsoever, whether your presence is felt and tangible at all, it is. It's going to be a big house. And it's going to be a big house when anybody goes. Keep that in mind. Cherish what you have. Cherish the people in your life. And understand that you never know when things are going to change. There was a police officer last week, who was on his way to work at 5:30 in the morning. He was a motorcycle police officer. And on his way to work, he crashed. It's suspected that he might have been run off the road, perhaps not deliberately, but he was 49 years old. His life was taken from him just like that. and his absence is felt every day. You can see it because I see police officers stop by the side of the road and look at the little memorial that was put up there. And you might think to yourself, well, that's a police officer. Trust me, it's everybody. All right, guys. I hope this has made a difference to you. I hope that it's something you can think about and share it if you like. And if you've liked it, hit the thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.